Ready.
This is Pod With Me. On this episode, we're talking about entrepreneurship and how difficult can it be to take over a family business. Get ready, because the pod starts now.
So he's still there. He's got a couple more years, good years left in the tank before we kick him out.
Let's go again. Ready.
Alex, are you ready to pod? Hey, are you all ready to talk?
Alex, yeah, here.
Are you ready?
Let's go. Let's get a sound check. Ready.
This is Alex J. Aguiar, and you're listening to Pod With Me. I'm here with Javi Perez, right? Javi Perez?
Yes, sir. That's my name.
Tell me a little bit about yourself. Where are you from? You were born in Cuba or here?
I was born in Miami, actually. So I've lived here all my life, all 22 years. Born and raised local kid. St. Teresa Middle School, for anybody listening who knows the area. Columbus High School, and UM for undergrad.
Ah, very nice, very nice. Tell us about your jewelry business. It's a family jewelry business, right?
Yes, it's a family jewelry business. So we've been in business since 1990, and that was started by my dad. And the entire basis of our business is a manufacturing jewelry business. So we make jewelry, and we sell it to the jewelry stores that people walk into. When I came on board in 2018. Out of college, I decided that I wanted to open a branch to make jewelry and sell it directly to the public, and at those same manufacturer prices, to really give a competitive edge to our business and to give people access to the prices that I think they deserve on jewelry when they go shopping for it.
So basically, the jewelry you find at Javi's. What's the name of the jewelry store?
Gabriel Edward Jewelers is the name of the store.
That's right. And basically what you get there is, if you go buy a watch, it's going to be a lot cheaper if you go to a jewelry store, correct?
A whole lot cheaper,
That's the whole point of his store. So, and if they want to fix something, they can also come to you, right?
Yes, we do repairs, battery replacements, all that fun stuff, yeah.
All right, now that we got the commercial out of the way.
Paid sponsored programming. Yeah.
Is this your passion, or you just fell into it because it was the family? Because you got a degree, right? What was your degree?
Yeah, my degree was in marketing and finance. I have a bachelor's from UM.
All right. So did you go in with the mindset that you're going to be the marketer of the business since you got a bachelor's in that, or you just fell into other roles?
Well, I came in with the mindset of I took a couple months when I started in the business, just to get my feet wet and look around and see, all right, like, what do I think about this? Like, what do I think about the business that we're currently doing? Do I enjoy the wholesale side? Do I want to grow in that sector, in that division? Do I want to keep adding stores, to our customer base? And the answer was no. I didn't. I didn't like the way the business was going. I was tired of, selling to the middleman instead of, going out there and getting that final customer. So, it took me a couple months to put the pieces all together, but I realized that we had, an advantage that I needed to put to full use.
And what was the reaction from your family when you said you wanted to go a different route?
My dad he's probably not listening to this because he can barely turn on his iPhone, but my dad wanted me to go to law school. Always. He always wanted me to be a lawyer, and I'm just a business person by trade. I love business. I love creating products that bring, problem solving to people's lives. That's I don't know. I'm huge on that. I like creating something, having somebody tell me like, wow, this changed my life in a good way, because that's that's the highest compliment I think you can get. So, not a great reaction initially. I think.
What did they say?
Oh man, they were like, dude, you need to go back to school. And I was like,
back to school after you got a bachelor's?
Oh my God, yeah. I think that's enough, right? That's more than enough.
This is funny because it's all generational thing. So nowadays I believe that school it all depends on what you want to do exactly. I think if you want to be a doctor or a lawyer, you actually need to go through those grades and need to pass those tests. School's good, but I think things are changing a little bit.
I really couldn't agree more with that statement. I think that in today's day and age, with the advent of social media just dominating the content that we consume every day, if you want to run a business, if you want to start a business, school is great in the sense that if your business doesn't work initially, or if you need a little more time to think, you can get a job, at 22 years old and, fresh out of college and make a good salary and, kind of plan for what your next move is going to be. But if you have that idea set up and, or example, you have a family business that, you see a potential for growth in, Of course, get that degree to give yourself a plan B, but don't be afraid to launch and to go after what you want, because you're not going to learn as much in a classroom as you are being out there in the real world and growing your business.
You know, we had Dr. Liz Aguirre on the show. I know Javi from BNI. We spoke about BNI. It's the whole business networking meetings that we're on, which is great. We were talking about that. She was talking about how obviously she had to graduate in order to be a dentist.
Yeah.
But then when she ran her business, she didn't know how to run her business because they didn't teach her.
Super true. No, I couldn't agree more. I mean, this is no shade thrown at UM, but I've learned so much more, actually being out there and having to acquire new customers, take care of them, market the business, expand, develop new products. You learn so much more in your day-to-day life as a business person, business owner than you ever will in a classroom. You can't put that in a book, So yeah, the best. What did it say? The best teacher's experience. Best teacher's experience. So yeah, that's the way to do it.
I for example, when I was in Miami-Dade, I had interned, and I've done so many things already since I was in 8th grade.
Yeah.
And I remember taking the courses. I knew everything already. Yeah. Nothing new, and they were teaching everybody. I wanted to get up and teach the class. Yeah. Actually.
No, I couldn't agree more with that statement, with that feeling. Like a lot of these marketing courses, like the material sometimes is so outdated. Like I would sit in these classes and they're still teaching about like print media and billboards and newspaper ad buying. It's like this has nothing to do with like absolutely anything in today's modern age. This is all disappearing by the wayside. So
and so much money.
And it's so much money. So I think schools need to really adapt to fit what's happening in today's day and age. And that's just, from one person's perspective. And
you're not the only person. We follow Gary Vaynerchuk, who talks a lot about this topic. Yeah. Let's listen to see what he has to say about it.
Ready.
It's outdated globally. The internet made it outdated because information is a commodity, and the school system was built on memorization of information. Why do I have to do any math? I have a calculator on my iPhone that can give you any math. Yeah. I don't need to know anything. I can ask Siri and Alexa in 2 seconds, they'll give me the answer. Who cares about the periodic table when I can tell you what, it's so uncomfortably outdated globally because it's predicated on memorization of information in a world where we have information at our fingertip within a second for zero cost. The whole thing's dead. One of the scariest things is parents putting pressure on kids to go to school to make the parent feel good and making the kid take on debt for that when the kid doesn't feel like they want to do that. And then they come out the other side and they literally spend the next 15 years trying to reconcile that debt. Every company's not requiring a degree to get hired anyway. The greatest companies in the world, Amazon, Google, are no longer requiring a degree anyway. So what are you falling back on? And it's completely predicated on the framework that the parent grew up with, and more importantly, the judgment that their parents are putting on them or how they want to keep up with everybody else. Because the people that they eat dinner with at the country club on Sunday night, their daughter's going to the big university, and it's just ludicrous. It is sad. I'm a byproduct of parents that were strong enough to not care about what other people thought, which is why I'm happy. And I would like to use what the gift my parents gave to me as something that I communicate to the world, hopefully inspiring one parent to give that gift to their child.
Ready.
So what do you think about what Gary just said?
Well, you know what, I think Gary's a fantastic, self-made entrepreneur. I love his background, how he started, same as me, in a family business, and grew it, just to a fantastic level, and then decided that he wanted to be a brand persona, instead of just pigeonholed into one business. So, I think that's the end game of any business person is, in today's day and age, is you want to be able, to just to become a company yourself. You want to be able to take your name and build it to the point where it has enough cachet to work in any industry and, sell any product and give authenticity to any company that you want to work with. So big fan of Gary Vee, and I really agree with a lot of stuff he says.
Where is the business now? Is it where you want it to be?
I'm happy with the foundation we've set up. So now 2020 is all about build that new website, touch up the social media page, get more consistent with your content creation, get more organized, and operationally, build that new product line. So there's a whole, the to-do list never ends.
Yeah, besides the pod, I have a production company.
There you go. Yeah.
And I've done my website 7 times.
I'm on
in 1 year.
Oh God, I'm on website run number 3 right now. So I've learned, I've become a web developer, unfortunately, which is not what I signed up for. But
I think nowadays everybody has to do a little bit of everything, right?
Yeah. When you own your own business, especially at the initial stages where you don't have, that just insane amount of capital to throw away on stuff, you have to do everything. So, but I enjoy it at the same time. It's fun because I get to, I really get to control everything. I get to pick the direction of the business. I think I've learned and grown so much in the time that I've been here working. It's taught me a lot about independence, fending for myself. It's taught me how difficult it is to start really from zero.
Did your dad retire and you took over? What was those steps?
Yeah, no, he's still there. He runs the wholesale division himself, and I do the marketing for both sides, and then everything for the Gabriel Edwards side, so all the business development. So he's still there. He's got a couple more years, good years left in the tank before we kick him out.
So different, the 2 generations, the way you think. They kind of like a whole little struggle there with that.
It's been funny, when we initially started, we butted heads a lot because I saw a lot of the stuff that he was doing on his end. And and thought to myself, hey, this could be done better. And I think that's the attitude of most kids when they come into a business. They think that like they're young and they're fresh out of college and they know all these things that the old man's not implementing. But as kids, you have to remember that like he got here for a reason. He knows everything about this industry inside and out, and that's not something that he has that industry knowledge that I won't be able to to hit his level of it for another decade. So I have to listen to his viewpoint, understand where he's coming from, and he's doing stuff that works. So you can't just come in here and change a system that is producing and has produced for 30 years. What you're supposed to do is improve it, is tweak it, make little changes here and there to to smooth over efficiency and to maybe make life easier on him. But you also have to prove yourself. If you want to talk about all these different things that you think are beneficial to the business, you got to put them into place yourself on your end, show results, and then that's how you get the older generations to say, all right, like this is worth considering. So
I mean, you can't just push it upon them because they'll freak out, right?
Of course, you have to show that there's some results coming from it first. That's the only way to get the that first generation to actually look at what you're doing and say, wow, this is working. So
I mean, it's pretty difficult because I can imagine, and it's also the ego thing. The ego thing that I've been doing this for years, and who are you to come in now?
100%.
And and know that you're gonna. I can imagine for him it's difficult because he knows that he's gonna leave the company soon.
Yeah.
Whenever it's time, and he knows that you're gonna take over, and I'm sure he's proud of it. But at the same time, he's built this thing from scratch.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like hard to let go of something that you love and been working on for so many years. And probably sometimes that's why anybody out there that's listening that actually is taking over a business for the family business, you have to put yourself in their shoes and think about the struggle they went through to put it to where it is now, and how difficult and hard it must be for them to know that it's gonna, they're gonna have to let it go.
Yeah.
Without
question. I think there's gonna be a, especially when your dad or your mom or whoever's running the business that you're taking over in your family reaches, the late 50s, early 60s point of their life. That's when the reality starts to set in. And especially when you start to really get involved in the business, the reality starts to set in that, wow, like, little by little, I'm going to have to start letting go of this. And it's scary, then the current owner, your dad, your mom, your aunt, whoever, is in their mind running through, all right, well, what am I going to do after this? Is this thing going to be safe in the hands of somebody else? It's very hard to let go of, of what's your baby, of what you built over all these decades. So, all these kind of, catastrophic ideas start coming into their minds, and, it's your job, our job as that second generation, to really get in there, get your hands dirty, learn everything that the owner knows, so that they can have that sense of assurance that, listen, everything's okay.
Where do you see the jewelry company in 5 years from now, let's say?
In 5 years from now, I want to see the entire country having complete access to a direct-to-consumer jewelry manufacturer. So I want that to be, the market trend. Instead of going online to shop for diamonds at a Blue Nile or, a James Allen, or walking to a Kay's or a Jared's, I want you to know that you have access, to the people behind the scenes that are, actually getting their hands dirty and making the jewelry. So I see our exposure really being at a different level in 5 years. And I've learned a lot from you, Alex. I see my personal brand as becoming something that's cemented. I want to be, to the level that you just mentioned, Gary Vaynerchuk. I want to be close to that level where people know my name and associate me with my work and know already to come to me. So instead of me having to constantly be searching and marketing to clients already know who I am and are coming my way.
You built your persona because, as I was telling Javi before we were taping that, I took a branding course. And before I had AJA Creative Media, which is the production company. AJA is my initials as the company, but then the branding course told me I should do my names. In the old days, you don't promote yourself, you promote the business. Especially with social media.
Yeah.
How are you on social media?
Social media, what I've learned and seen is that the more you plaster your face on social media, and I mean, I think that's gonna make you happy because that's what you push people to do. The more you plaster your face and connect with your audience on social media, actually speak to them, and I'm talking about getting in front of the camera and connecting and educating, your followers and your potential clients, the better your business is going to do on social media. The day and age of posting pictures and, little informational articles and stuff like that.
I've heard you don't mention your business name, for example. Besides Gary Vaynerchuk, I follow Tanya Eliza, and that's where I took the branding course about her blueprint. Her blueprint is what took her to make the 7 figures. It's the exact same thing she did. I purchased that whole package, and it was amazing because she, with that package, I was able to build a WordPress. I had it on Wix, and WordPress. The reason she gave behind having it on WordPress is because WordPress, you could have more plugins, you have more liberty, and it drives more traffic. Plus, all the main businesses and everything are on WordPress. So, and then her videos from that package, step by step, how to build it.
So we had our site on our e-commerce site on GoDaddy. And I'm talking about like since, I don't even know, the early 2000s maybe, when the wholesale website was first created. And then when I came in 2018, we made the first, Gabriel Edwards website on GoDaddy because that was just the platform builder I knew. It took me a little while. I realized how outdated they were. They have no business, providing a website builder. I mean, their tools in every aspect of e-commerce are just behind the time. So, in January, so a couple weeks back, I scrapped the GoDaddy site and I changed this over to Shopify, which Shopify actually is compatible with WordPress. So I started with Shopify because it's a little bit easier to use than WordPress, just from a design, standpoint. And for e-commerce, it might be just a little bit simpler to put together, but it gives you the opportunity to later on integrate with WordPress and then, either hire a developer if you want to do, the fancier stuff. He talks about the person-to-person marketing anymore. People that fail to make connections with, with the people that they want to work with, their businesses are going to suffer. Put a face to your brand. Don't be a faceless brand because, like you just said, when the economy takes a dip in a faceless brand, it's very, very, very hard for you to keep your business afloat.
Yeah, and then when that happens, all of you could come on pod with me and tell your story. How about that? What advice do you have for any entrepreneur out there that just started their business or is thinking about starting their business?
Before you take action and actually build your site, create your products, start creating marketing materials, take time and do your homework. No one likes to do that. No one likes to study the market. No one likes to, take a step back and think and read and plan. Do the boring legwork first so that when you start your business, you have a direction and every action that you make after that is all, heading in the same direction to get, that final job done. Second of all is be able to adapt, really, really quickly. Be able to fail and just get up really quickly and, say to yourself, hey, that method didn't work. Let's try another one. And keep on doing that until you find successful methods. And when you find successful methods, just multiply out that action over and over and over again. Be patient. Understand that results are not going to come overnight because sales is just a factor of how many people know, like, and trust your business. Constantly nurturing relationships.
And join BNI.
It's a hell of a networking group.
Yeah, it is. And if you want to hear more about BNI, you could go back to Dr. I'm in Charge episode with Dr. Liz that we went over BNI and stuff. Anyway, one more thing.
What?
Don't fall off the pod. For more on Pod With Me, if you have not done so, go to the App Store and download our app. You can also go to alexjaguiar.com, and we are also on social media. On Facebook, you can go and follow us on Pod With Me, AJA. On Twitter, it's Alex J. Aguiar. And on Instagram, it's Pod With Me. This is Alex J. Aguiar, and thank you for listening. And remember, don't fall off the pod.
Let's get a sound check.
Ready.